Fellas, my bad, bro. It's been a minute. Hold up. Ignore that, bro. I got a lot going on right now, bro. I'm transitioning right now. Yup. Yup. But nah, bro. Like you see, I even turn the camera around. It ain't facing that way. Like, you got a lot of stuff over there you don't need to be seeing. Just got back in town. About to go back out of town, bro. Got a lot going on. But, well, I mean, we've been grinding, bro. I mean, you take a look at my Instagram. Just trained with Mighty Mouse the other day, bro. Transformative experience. Super dope. Super insightful, man. It's super dope meeting the GOAT. I've been training a lot more recently. I've been training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. Of course, like I said, this seminar with Mighty Mouse. Been traveling a lot of work stuff going on. Been finding a lot of success at work. Been killing it, crushing it, Chris nushing it. Bro, yeah, we're doing crazy things over at MTK, bro. Just a lot of success, a lot of wins, man. So, been busy, bro. 7 days a week, sun up to sundown. I get up a little bit after the sun because I usually go to bed real late. But I say about 7 a.m., 12 p.m. 12 p.m. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. 1 a.m. My schedule. I'm working. I'm training. Working at the gym. I'm doing personal career stuff, and kind of let my personal brand stuff slip by the wayside. And yeah, so just a lot, man. I told myself I was gonna lock in this 6 months beginning. I need to just get into it, bro. This is not a rant. UFC 316. I wanted to get a couple thoughts in quick before I got on. I need to get back on that train, get it moving, because there's a couple things I was thinking about in this fight that I noticed that I thought was interesting. I'm not just going to just talk about regular predictions, fight, whatever. Partly because I got a little bit of insight because, like I said, I just trained with Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, the other day, and I did ask him. I was like, you just trained with Sean. Like, what did you feel? What was different? What some stuff he brought to the table? And he said some stuff that he said publicly, and then he said some stuff that he hasn't said publicly. And so I do have my predictions for the fight. That kind of helped me solidify what I was thinking, kind of changed my mind a bit, but I don't want to go too deep in that because, he's like, obviously you don't want that to get out, whatever, but maybe afterwards. But plus I don't really have a strong prediction. It's kind of hard to tell. This is a different Merab. We can see this way because getting to him, which could be the reason why he's more solemn and quiet, but just that in general makes it seem a little, because it's so different. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I also think he could be so very different because I 100%, this is his first rematch, and I do believe he could be going out there with the intention of finishing. Like, obviously, if he has a finish, everyone says, yeah, I always want to chase a finish, but like their actions don't show that. I think Merab knows that. One thing about Merab that frustrates, I like watching Merab fight actually, but one thing that frustrates me a lot is that if you notice, like, he almost rarely ever ends a round in a dominant position, and it's because he normally gives it up. He'll have him in a front headlock that's not threatening a darce or a guillotine, or he'll have you in a body lock against the cage, or he'll even be on top of you in a full guard or something, and then he'll look up and be like, 3 seconds left, let me just completely disengage from this dominant position, back up, do this little thing, hold my arms out, and then that's how I'd rather end the round. Instead of ending the round throwing elbows at you or punching you or whatever, or even just in a dominant grappling position, I'd rather end the round jumping with my chest up and doing this. And that always frustrates me. I don't know why. At the end of fights and at the end of rounds, he just gives up fighting, and I don't know why. I don't get it. Like, you can showboat and do all that literally the second the fight ends. I don't understand why he doesn't find satisfaction in ending the fight, like hammering. Obviously, it's worked for him so far, but it's just one thing that frustrates me. But I just saw something in his, I think it was embedded, or it could have been Countdown. I think it was Countdown, when John Wood was saying, like, hey, I think we could have finished those last opponents, but we're just having too much fun out there. And I mean, I think he's right, actually. I think a lot of his opponents have been finishable if he, I don't know how they train. I imagine they train finishes. I don't know if they, obviously Merab, like, for example, has short legs, but doesn't have short arms. he could probably work Darces, and he's always in the front headlock position. He could at least threaten Darces and guillotines. He throws the guillotine sometimes, but he throws it with the legs up, and it usually just ends up being a sweep for him, which is good because he ends up in mount. But I think if he really seriously worked finishes, especially having Aljo like a black belt in jiu-jitsu, like just two, like work like or three, like an arm triangle, for when you pass the half, and work a Kimura and at least get them good enough to threaten, and then work your Darce, your Anaconda, and your guillotine like seriously. Even if you got to go back to Matt Serra, seriously train that. I don't think there's any reason why he can't finish O'Malley, who he's obviously very superior in the grappling. For example, I think if that fight happens with like an Islam or a Hamzat or a Khabib, and they have O'Malley ragdolled in those positions, if they take them out and put them in that fight, I think they're finishing that fight. If they're that superior in grappling, there's no reason why you can't at least seriously threaten the position. He lands strikes, which is good. He'll put that arm around the body and do a bunch of punches. And it was at one point where he landed a good elbow in the guard, I think in his fourth round, and it looked like he might have been progressing towards a finish. But he just never looks that close to make a cut or anything like that. I just think he needs to work with his violence a little bit more and have his mind on every position being to finish. What does work better is that I've noticed that Aljo in his last couple fights, when he grapples, he just doesn't do much damage while he grapples. Like, he very much position over submission. I mean, position over damage. And he doesn't. That's why he lost the Mobstar fight, because he wasn't throwing any strikes in his grappling. He controlled the entire third round. In the last minute, Mobstar grabbed him, threw a little pitter-patter punches, and they're like, well, that's the only damage in the fight. If Aljo could figure out how to get damage in while holding those positions, I think he'd be a lot more successful. It's just a small change. Merab's able to keep those positions and do damage. Now he needs to. He normally doesn't even keep the positions that long. He's O'Malley, you know. But in all fairness, O'Malley is the worst grappler he's faced. Grappler / anti-wrestler he's faced in a while. I mean, nobody really thinks about Merab pre-Jose Aldo fight, but Aldo has notorious great grappling. Anti-wrestling. Jan, Cejudo, and Nurmagomedov. So he's fought really great grapplers. So it's not really much. He couldn't keep Dodson down, but nobody's ever been able to keep Dodson down. So, you know, if you really think about it, I think, you know, like Sean's the worst grappler. So I think it wasn't too much on the injury. And I think if Merab has a good camp, he's not hurt like he was with Umar, and he's focused, and he goes out there, it just focuses on, okay, how can I progress this position? How can I get this finish? And doesn't even think about showboating. And they put serious effort into defending the teep and finishing. I think he has a very strong chance of winning. But also, I just get nervous when it's like I kind of have a preference. I always just think I'm gonna not get what I want, and I want Merab to win just because I like to see where that story goes. Sean's cool and everything, but I just get worried about these superstar fighters and them not wanting to fight often or take the matchup that we want. I guess Corey would be next for O'Malley, which is what we want, but O'Malley, I just know he's going to finagle something and be like, let me get Jan instead, which could be fun too, but I don't know, I just like Merab right now. But anyway, what I thought was interesting is, an interesting parallel is that, where are we at? Alright, we're good. Merab fought Umar, right? And I remember when he fought Umar, I don't know if anybody remembers, it's not long ago, but in that camp, he just happened to have like a freaking reality show of superstars in his camp. He had him and Cejudo come and do that whole like little viral video where he kept cutting off Habib or whatever. And then Demetrius Johnson came, Mighty Journey. They tried him out for the team. He grappled all the guys and then made the team or whatever Habib said. And it was like, and I remember I was like, damn, they're really summoning like the bantamweight Avengers, bro. Like the light people, the smaller guy Avengers to beat Merab. Like how? Like this is a lot. Granted, that doesn't. I know it doesn't matter. If a superstar comes to your camp, you're the last weekday 49 of your 12-week camp. It was actually a short camp, but to work out with you, that doesn't. I don't even think Demetrius Johnson moved with Umar at all. Like I don't think he moved with him at all. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything. But just having that mind, just having that inspiration, who knows what insight they may give you? Just all these ideas, these smart minds. people who may have rolled with people who may have rolled with Merab. It's just like, oh wow, like it just looks like you're really assembling a team to really get rid of him. I know that's not what it was, but it just looks like it. And similarly, Sean O'Malley happened to be with Izzy and DJ again before this Merab fight. So I just thought it was funny. Like this year, it just seemed like they're just everybody's summoning like the gods of MMA in order to take out Merab. I just thought it was a funny parallel. Oop, shut my phone. How that worked out. Obviously, I know that it's not an intentional thing, but I just thought it was pretty funny. A pretty like cool parallel. Last thing I want to talk about. Actually, let me see if I have a. Oh, actually, before I get to this, because this is unrelated. It's been hard for me to figure out who I want to win. I think Sean's done a very good job of promoting this fight because obviously a lot of people didn't want the rematch, and it's finally something he's admitting because he's been very delusional about what people want when the Cheeto fight happened. He was like, it's the fight people want or whatever, blah 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 blah. Actually, he said that at first, and then he backtracked and was like, I don't know why some people are complaining, and I don't know why he acts delusional. Him and Tim are usually very self-aware, members of the MMA community, which is why I kind of like. One thing I like about them, they're usually pretty self-aware and honest, but like why people didn't want the Cheeto fight because they wanted the Merab fight. But anyway, he's been self-aware about. He's been honest about like people didn't want this rematch, so he's been selling it. A good job promoting it, making it seem like it's competitive, like you should actually tune into it. Which, to be honest, like in this current pay-per-view model, I don't know if there's really a point in like promoting fights because it's like it's gonna do the pay-per-view buys, whatever. You know, like O'Malley fanboys are gonna buy it. They believed you were gonna win no matter what. Merab, don't necessarily know if he has ticket buying fanboys, but he might have like Georgian Link watching fanboys, and that's the thing about this current models. I don't know however much selling you're doing. I don't think it's like. I think it's just gonna affect how many people illegally stream it, or like watch commentary around it. Like I think you selling a fight is doing more for ESPN MMA and MMA Guru and Lucas Tracy and Pound for Pound podcast and Mighty Cast than it is for the pay-per-view sales. But I appreciate them selling it anyway. O'Malley, I think, has been doing a really good job. But this, like, I've been focused. I've given this up. I've been like his footage looks pretty good, but so did Adesanya for the last two camps. It looked amazing. I don't think he really had any for the Sean Strickland fight, but the last two camps. I mean, not that his wrestling looked great, but it just looked like he was grinding and getting it in. Sean was good with his training partners, busting them up. But you always look good with your training partners. I mean, a good thing is that Merab. If people say Merab's hard to imitate, Merab's probably the easiest person to imitate because you're just trying to imitate cardio mostly, and that only just takes more bodies. Now the pressure within a round, that's gonna be hard to imitate. Like people are gonna be scared to come in. They're not gonna have the strength and the pressure. That's hard. But just overall, like 5 rounds, like imitating somebody's cardio is not that hard. Anyway, I say all that to say, he also this injury stuff he's been talking about they used to sell the fight. I was injured. The old me would have, I probably would have bought into that and been like, oh man, yeah, he had that. But I'm a little smarter than that now, and I know that doesn't really mean anything because everybody's always injured, and only the loser complains about it. Merab was injured going into the Umar fight, which is probably his toughest stylistic matchup. Great grappler, great striking. He's a little taller, but not so much taller. But that was a tough matchup for anybody, and he got through it hurt on a short camp. What was I gonna say? Oh, and also, yeah, like I said, people are always hurt. It's just they don't always say it. Oh, and also, what I want to say, I noticed is that O'Malley used that excuse for his last 3 fights. He said he was hurt against Merab. No, he didn't say it was. I don't think he said he was hurt against Cheeto specifically, but he has said like these last couple camps that had things lingering. The Aljo fight, he said he tore his rib and couldn't grapple. He said the same thing about the Merab fight. So obviously, your ability, you getting hurt and not being able to grapple, doesn't necessarily have to be the dictator of whether you win that fight or not because you have that knockout power, right? Because you said the exact same thing happened to Aljo. Happened with Aljo. You said I tore my thing, I couldn't grapple. And Aljo just got caught. It's a 1 in a million chance. You know what I mean? Because Aljo would have been able to keep you down, especially if you hadn't been grappled. The same thing would have happened, except it would have been more boring, what you might have got finished actually, because if you grappled the way you did at the Sphere against Aljo, an actual finisher, yeah, you might have gotten finished. Aljo would have been a superstar, but because that's all people were waiting for is him to finish. Now to put him over. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm not buying into that too much because I mean you won with it before. I don't think like you can win without it, right? And everybody's always hurt. Also, if you didn't grapple for the Aljo camp, you obviously didn't grapple for Cheeto because Cheeto's not a grappler, and then you didn't grapple for this last Merab camp, all because you couldn't and because Cheeto. That's and then you took a year off before that. I'm sure you were doing some grappling, but you were in a camp preparing for. Oh well, you were preparing for Aljo, but that's what 2 years of you not really progressing as a grappler slash anti wrestler, and you think just because you did a 12-week camp with some short, stocky guy and switch partners that you're all of a sudden gonna like stop Merab's takedowns? Like you could train for 3 years and still straight just wrestling and not stop his takedowns. You know what I mean? You gotta fundamentally change the way I think you approach this fight if you want to win. And I'm not gonna go too in depth of that because some of it. Well, yeah, sure. Just to be quick, I just think you just have to not. You have to fight as though like you don't even think about him being able to take you down. Like Merab's not worried about you taking him down, right? I'm not sure in this fight if he's worried about you knocking him out now that he's felt your power, but he's not worried about you taking him down. Your mind has to be the exact same way, where you're just like, I'm just going out there and beat him, whatever it takes. I'm just gonna find whatever I see and win. Not I can't get taken down, and if I get taken down, I gotta get up. Don't even think about that. Just think how you're gonna win, not how you could lose or what you need to do as a contingency. In my opinion. Other than that, I was gonna talk about the John Jones petition. I don't have much to say about it. I just noticed. I just went to look at it a little bit because they've been talking about it, and it's just funny because it's so in depth. Like there's people that are leaving like think pieces as comments that are featured at the top. People are leaving videos. I haven't watched any of them, but they're like videos explaining why he should be stripped, their feelings, their emotions about it. Oh, I'm assuming I haven't clicked on it just because I'm tired. I ain't felt like it, and I just thought it was funny. But I don't have much to say about it. But that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna end this video right here. Like and subscribe. I'm gonna be more consistent from now on.